Family, what's up? It's Yigal. I'm going live. We're going to talk about cash flow today. I've had so many conversations over, the course of the podcast, the course of my coaching, that I was like, okay, I got to get online and I got to teach something by drawing it out. And I had this idea today, and I want to share it with you. So if you're on the call today, let me know if you can hear me, because I'm using a couple of different microphones. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. And then, hey, Anastasia, how are you? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up or yes, we can hear you, so that I know that I should continue, or I got to switch out my microphone. So let me know if you can hear me. Super important. Hope you can. Welcome. We're going to talk about cash flow today and what's going on with a lot of pawn shops, and why a lot of pawn shops keep saying that they don't have enough money to, upgrade their store or put in new security cameras or pay for coaching or even put it into their pawn. So, hey, Charlotte, thanks for being on. If you guys can let me know if you guys can hear me okay, that would be awesome. Would appreciate it. Cool, I got some likes. Perfect. So let me ask if you guys can hear me. All right, perfect, awesome. All right, so I want to make sure you guys can hear me so I can really teach this well, right? So I was having a conversation today with a client, and we were working out their inventory turn number, right? So I've got the board out here, and I'm going to kind of write it out so you guys know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that way you guys can learn it as well, right? So I'm going to write down inventory turn, right? So your inventory turn number is basically how long it takes you to sell your merchandise and how long it takes you to turn the merchandise in your store. So we were having this conversation about, why inventory turn is important. And I know lots of people say it's important, but I want to kind of illustrate why it's important, right? I want to illustrate it in a different way than in just numbers, so you guys can really understand why it matters, okay? So inventory turn, for those of you who don't know, is cost of goods sold divided by average inventory balance, okay? And excuse my handwriting, it's horrible. But so inventory turn is cost of goods sold divided by average inventory balance. So what you want is you want to take your cost of goods sold, right? Let's say your cost of goods sold are $400,000, right? You've got a bigger store, you're doing well, you're selling a lot of, maybe $1 million a year, whatnot. So you divide that by the average inventory balance. So what's the average inventory balance? That's your balance January 1st. That's one number. And then December 31st, that's another number. You add the two, divide by 2, and you get your average, right? So let's say that average is $1 million, just to make everything round numbers, right? So $400K in cost of goods sold. I've added my January 1st to my December 31st inventory divided by 2. I got my average inventory balance, right? If I divide 400K divided by $1 million, what does that give me? It gives me 0.4. So what does that mean, right? 0.4 means that you're turning your inventory, seems like about every 2 years. It takes 2 years for you to turn that inventory, right? If your inventory number was 1, it would take you a whole year, or whatever you're measuring. If you're measuring a quarter, if you're measuring 6 months, it would take a whole year to turn that. If your inventory turn number is 4, you're moving your inventory every 3 months. It makes sense? Let me know if that makes sense. If you're on this call, if you're on this live, let me know if this makes sense to you so we can continue, right? So it's super important, right? Everyone says, stop hoarding, move that inventory. So let me explain to you and show you a different way that I came up with today so that you guys can see why it's important to turn that inventory, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and erase this. And by the way, all of this is in the masterclass. If you haven't gone to the Pawn Leaders Masterclass, check it out. I teach you all of the financial KPIs. I teach you marketing KPIs, and I also teach you leadership KPIs. No one really teaches that these days. So, okay, so let's say that you made a ton of money and you bought a house, right? You can excuse my drawings because they're not that good. So it's got a door, it's got a window, whatever here. right? And it looks more like a mushroom, right? But here, let's try that again. Let's draw a house, okay? There's the house. Okay? You got the windows, and you got the door with the knob here, okay? And you've made a lot of money, and you want to live on the lake. So you buy a house on the lake, okay? So here's the lake where your house is, okay? Not only is the house on the lake, but there's also this beautiful waterfall that comes straight into your lake. So imagine you've got this picturesque house with this beautiful lake, and there's this waterfall, okay? And then we're talking about inventory now, right? Hey, Stan, what's up, brother? So when you are hoarding merchandise, this is what happens, okay? Inventory is coming into the lake, right? And it's trickling out the other side because you're not selling enough. You're not moving that merchandise quick enough. You're emotionally connected to the merchandise. You think maybe I can wholesale it for 5% more on JTN, or I can wholesale it somewhere, for 10, I can just make a little bit more money on it. Let me hold it there. But you're so busy that you don't get to it, right? So you've got to understand something. If the waterfall is dumping water into the lake, right? And it's trickling out, what's going to happen? If you guys are watching right now, make a comment. What's going to happen to this beautiful house on this lake overlooking this waterfall, right? What's going to happen is that the water level is going to start creeping up and creeping up and creeping up, and it's going to flood your beautiful house. That's exactly why turning your inventory and getting rid of it and moving the merchandise is so important. If you hold on to this merchandise, you're going to flood that marble floor. You're going to flood that beautiful kitchen that you always dreamed of, and the bathroom and the master bedroom. And you're going to destroy the house because you didn't open up a bigger flow of water on this side, right? So how do we do that? Why is it so important to turn the inventory? It's so important to turn the inventory because I always hear people saying, I don't have enough cash flow. I can't pay my payroll. I'm having trouble having cash to pawn merchandise. Yes, there's a moment where even though you might have an inventory turn of 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, whatever that number is, right? That you're still going to need money because you're lending out so much. But usually, if you just open the flow of being able to sell the merchandise and get in the mindset of that, yes, it might be worth more in a jewelry store. Yes, it might be worth more somewhere else, but you don't have the time or the resources to sell it, so get rid of it. I always walk into pawn shop owners and managers, and they've got these trays of jewelry sitting there. And I look at the date, and it was expired 60 days ago. And I said, well, what is this for? And they say, oh, this is stuff I'm going through that I want to sell wholesale on JTN. I want to, find another store to buy it from. But you've already held it for 60 days. It's already losing money. And Stan is right. You're losing money already. So ladies and gentlemen, pawn family, if you don't want to destroy this house, this beautiful house that you've built, right? This is your store. Okay? The windows, we'll draw those again. And the door's right here. You're on this incredible lake. You got this beautiful waterfall. Okay? And the waterfall's not going to stop, right? You can't stop the waterfall flowing. Maybe in the summertime it dries up a little bit. In the wintertime it freezes, but all the spring and fall and everything's melting and it's just flowing in there. Right? In California, for example, they went from a 30-day hold to a 7-day hold. So merchandise is just plowing in, right? Every 7 days they're forfeiting merchandise to be able to sell again from buys. You need to open a flow of water so that you don't flood the house. And how do you do that? You've got to track that inventory turn number, right? Which we talked about before. And yes, a lot of people always look at profit margin. When I consult in different businesses, like from the real estate market to insurance and all that type of stuff. Profit margin is super important, and it's super important in our business as well. But if you have a high profit margin and you have a very, very low inventory turn, what's the point of making 47% if you're selling your products every 2 years, if it's taking you 2 or 3 years to turn your merchandise? So if you're watching this video, I want you to figure out your inventory turn number. And again, that's cost of goods sold, right? Divided by average inventory balance, right? Cost of goods sold divided by average inventory balance. And I want you to put that in the comments. Let's see what you've got. The person I work with today, 2018 was a 1.2, and this first quarter was 0.4, right? So people ask me, well, what's a good inventory turn number? Man, we've had guys in the mastermind who have 4, 5, and 6, so they're turning their merchandise every 2, 3, 4 months. That's amazing. Some people have commented to me that they've seen people with 9, right? They're moving merchandise every, month and a half or so, 1.75 months, whatever that is, right? But you've got to be able to measure the metrics in your operation. If you don't know the metrics as an owner, and if your managers don't know your numbers, you're losing. That's it. Plain and simple. If your managers don't know what you're trying to do in your business, what you're trying to measure, if they don't know what cost of goods sold there is, if they don't know their average inventory balance, if they don't know their marketing metrics, right? We'll talk about marketing metrics really quickly, right? And you've got marketing metrics like cost per click, cost per lead. And if you don't know what that is and you're spending money on Facebook and advertising and Yelp and all these places, you're throwing your money away. And all this is in the masterclass. If you go to pawnleadersmasterclass.com, I know Anastasia was in there. Anastasia, let us know what you thought about that. I teach you leadership. So go through 3 pillars, right? 3 pillars of information. It's leadership, marketing, and strategy. Or however you spell strategy. It's been a long day, right? So in leadership, I teach you how to build a great culture and what you need to do to personally become a great leader. In marketing, we talk about in-store marketing, online marketing. We even have my Facebook and Instagram and YouTube experts who have put videos in there for you to teach you how to create a pixel and put it on your Facebook page, how to do Instagram ads, how to do YouTube ads. It's all in there for you. This is an all-inclusive course. And then you've got the strategy, right? Which is the KPIs, the metrics, marketing metrics, leadership metrics, as well as 30 days of coaching with me and Q&A calls as well. You also get the Pawn Planner, right? And it's a lot of fun. You meet other people in the industry. You're having fun together. You're thinking about your business together. We're growing your business together. And it's an amazing, amazing concept. So once again, guys, if you're not turning your inventory, you're losing out. I'm going to teach you how to do that in the masterclass, how to turn that inventory, how to lead and be a better leader for yourself, your family, and your community, and your business, how to market, right? I've spent tens of thousands of dollars learning from the top marketing gurus in the world. I'm going to teach you how to do Facebook, Instagram, YouTube ads, how that works. So we're going to show all that in the masterclass, as well as those numbers that you need to know. So guys, it's Friday. I wish you an incredible weekend. Thanks for being on this call. And if you're on the replay, say hi and input that number for me so I can see what your inventory turn is if you don't know it. And go to pawnleadersmasterclass.com. It's pinned in the thing, and I guarantee it. It's going to be an incredible course. We start the first week of May. It's 30 days. We've already sold 4 or 5 seats. There's only 15 seats left. So jump in, pawnleadersmasterclass.com. Have an incredible weekend, and you've got to learn. In order to grow your business, you've got to learn what you don't know. You can't just open the doors anymore and hope that business is going to walk in. It doesn't work like that. The gold price isn't going up the way it used to, right? You've got competition from online, from OfferUps and eBays and all these different places. So jump in there. I'm going to teach you how I grew a multi-million-dollar pawn operation. Have an incredible weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon. If you have any questions, let me know. Put it inside the comments. Take care.